Yamamoto, Escanor, and Natsu. These three are one of the strongest fire users in their respective verse, and I thought it would be a fun topic to discuss the strongest fire user between them. All three of them in a free-for-all matchup, with me not equalizing energy systems to be fair for all of them. Because say Escanor has no way to interact with spiritual beings. It would be unfair for Yamamoto, who is a spiritual being, and giving them the same energy system would indirectly give Escanor the ability to affect souls, when it's not in his arsenal to do so. Which is why I don't like energy equalization, because you would be giving a character that could help them win a fight, in which he realistically wouldn't win. Nor do I think any of these three energy systems are similar enough to equalize them. But I'll give a short summary of their energy system, and in this hypothetical fight, I'll be taking their hypothetical strongest canon forms, i.e. Thousand Year Blood War Bankai Yamamoto with both of his arms. I'll start with Yamamoto, who has the most destructive firepower in this matchup. Yamamoto's energy system is simply just spiritual energy, called Reishi or Ryatsu, which every spiritual being has, and everything in the spiritual realm is comprised of Reishi. In terms of power, Bankai Yamamoto would be planetary as a low ball, with Yamamoto suppressing his power into his blade, and yet he would still accidentally destroy the world in a short time. And this is without his other arm, which I'll say is a 2 times amp, since we see in Bleach that when Grimjaw lost his arm, he was weakened to the point he can't be a Espada anymore. And how just using 2 hands makes you significantly stronger, which makes sense knowing how the power system works, and how when Byakuya used his hands, his Shikai or Bankai was 2 times faster. As for his speed, he is easily FTL+, with Soul Society arc characters reaching relativistic to light speed, in which you can stack on the confirmed multipliers, with Bankai being a 5 to 10 times multiplier, and all of the other power-ups being comparable or above a Bankai multiplication, in which if you stack all of the numbers, you would get Thousand Year Blood War Yamamoto easily to the MFTL, or hundreds of thousands of times faster than light. But in this video, I'll just say FTL, as you can argue Thousand Year Blood War characters are just light speed due to fodder Quincy's reacting to Ashwalian light, in which you can assume it's just light speed, which I would say is much faster than light due to it being from Yuha. There are also other feats you can get into, but it isn't needed, as FTL speed is more than enough for this fight.
Yamamoto has heat manipulation. His spiritual pressure is so great that it looks like it's fire, but it actually isn't fire. But I will call it fire to make it easier for me and y'all to know what I mean when I call Yamamoto's spiritual pressure fire. Anyway, these flames still produce intense heat. Yamamoto's Bankai Zanka no Tachi East allows Yamamoto to concentrate that heat and power of his fire into his blade, which makes the blade far more destructive than usual and can destroy anything that it touches. Zanko Tachi West coats Yamamoto's body in fire, which the heat of the flames is 15 million degrees, which is as hot as the core of the sun, making it near impossible for you to touch Yamamoto, since it is as if his body is covered by the sun. Zanko no Tachi South allows Yamamoto to summon the dead of the people he has slain, which the number of people he can summon is 10 trillion people, which he would need 1,000 Earth-like planets to sustain that many people. Zanko no Tachi North is a single slash that Yamamoto does, but nothing fancy that I am aware of. It just looks like a ranged version of Zanko no Tachi East, or like Zanko no Tachi Getsuga Tensho. And obviously, since Yamamoto is a soul, he has soul damage, he has durability negation because he's directly attacking the soul.
Magic in Seven Deadly Sins is created by one's will, thoughts, and experience. And the older you get, the stronger your magic will become. When it comes down to Escanor's low-end scaling, it's pretty simple, as Near Noon Escanor can damage the Prime Demon King and withstand some of his attacks, and was able to block a sword strike from the Demon King with his bare hands. The same Demon King created the Demon Realm in a short period of time, which would also make him planetary. Or you can use the fact that just half of the Demon King's power is too great for the world to handle, similar to Bankai Yamamoto's statements. And also slap on the fact that the behemoth can destroy the demon world, and 50% Demon King can no-diff it. You can then argue that half of the Demon King's power is planetary, which would upscale Near Noon Escanor. He also has his sacred treasure Rita, which amps his power and speed, since in Seven Deadly Sins, all your stats gets amped by just having a weapon in hand, as shown with Meliodas and Bon. The Sacred Treasure multiplier is, at a bare minimum, a 10 times amp, since we see Diane being on par with base Meliodas to one-shotting Hulbrim, who one-shot Berserk mode Meliodas, with a one-shot being bare minimum a 10 times difference, because magic amped weaponry Percival is relative to Macduff Lancelot, but without the 10 times amp and not using his magic, which magic runs through your entire body, which amps your body as shown. This version of Lancelot wasn't able to one-shot this nerfed Percy, but he did beat him up pretty badly. Thus, a one-shot in Seven Deadly Sins is a bare minimum 10 times difference, which would make end of series Escanor with his sacred treasure 20 times stronger than baseline planetary. When it comes to speed, Escanor is also FTL, in which you can also stack multipliers to get him comparable to Yamamoto's high-end speed, which we ignored, so I'll do the same thing for Escanor. As it is stated that Goddess's light is made of photons or light particles, which are the same thing, which means it's light speed, and we see Oslo doing a bunch of things before a light beam hits him, which was calculated to be 33 times FTL. Or you can use Gother's light arrows being stated to be made of light, so FTL plus to FTL end of series Escanor is a fair take. As for his abilities, Escanor's power comes from the sun, with his power getting stronger and stronger as the sun rises, with him reaching his peak at high noon. For 1 minute, he is in the one state, and as a last resort, he has the one ultimate, which is him in the one state until his life energy runs out. Escanor's fire and heat is also on a spiritual level, just like Yamamoto's, as his very soul has and uses his magic, as shown when his soul burns Melascula, which is also a form of durability negation. His flames also has power nullification, as it has burned darkness and fire. He also has cosmic radiation, since a sun or star naturally produces cosmic radiation. He can also fly with his sun. His sacred treasure release, or Bankai in Bleach terms, allows Escanor to store his immeasurable power in his axe and is able to release it at will, obliterating everything in the area, similar to Yamamoto's Bankai. The heat Escanor can emit depends on how you want to scale it, but since we are saying Escanor is 20 times baseline planetary, putting that much energy in his biggest sun would get the sun's temperature around 210 billion to 53.8 trillion degrees Celsius. This is due to the amount of energy put into a sun, depending on the size of the sun, which is why Escanor's sun is hotter than Mael's, if we assume they can put in the same energy level, but I used Escanor's biggest sun he created. As for the smallest sun, meaning the energy is compressed in a small volume, the same size as Trillion Dark from Meliodas, the range of his heat of the sun depends on how small you think it is. He also has regeneration negation, as shown by him negating Melascula's regeneration and the Vampire King's regeneration. Magic in Fairy Tail is made up of ether nano, which is in the atmosphere, and I'm not sure what ether nano is made of. It is a physical construct, but it's so small you usually can't see it, kinda like an atom or a photon. But as for Natsu scaling, we see Natsu being relative to Suzaku, which the same Suzaku is stronger than human form Selene, who is planetary to large planetary level, depending on how you interpret her increasing the moon's size, if you think it was by her giving the moon more mass, or if you think she simply pulled the moon closer to the planet to make it appear bigger. And a dragon force Natsu is on the level of suppressed dragon gods, which have no real scaling other than they are stronger than Acnologia, but this doesn't really matter since Acnologia has no planetary feats and kinda struggled trying to destroy the world, aka the planet that he was attacking. As for Natsu's heat resistance, I don't think you can argue his heat is 15 million degrees or higher, since his best heat feats being unquantifiable, as burning time magic isn't the same as burning natural time, and he could also be burning this time magic by burning the magic that fuels the time hacks. I know Zeref says he is burning time itself, but that's just in reference to his fairy heart magic, which is time manipulation. But as for his best quantifiable heat feat slash resistance, is him in Fire Dragon King mode, vaporizing a massive lake in like 5 seconds, which I got AI to calculate the level of heat to do so, since I hijacked someone's calculations of how big the lake is, and it gets Natsu's temperature to tens of trillions degrees Celsius. Or you can go with other calcs that calc the same feat that are lower, such as 200 million degrees Celsius or 15,000 degrees Celsius. Natsu's speed is quite questionable though, as someone like Base Wendy gets perception blitzed by Haku, whose speed is comparable to light speed, but the same Wendy can perceive Dragon Force Natsu fighting one of the dragon gods, so saying he is light speed is questionable and isn't likely, and I know he gets stronger throughout the 100 Years Quest series, but it's not quantified. Also, for the people that say Wendy reacted, do note Haku didn't take her seriously and only moved at light speed because he sensed Irene, and also he has a massive crush on Wendy, so why would he be going all out to begin with? It's also worth mentioning that Bro was able to perceive her moves the whole fight. Now for Natsu's abilities, which he just has fire manipulation, obviously, and he can eat fire and other elements such as lightning, and he can use those flames or elements with his fire. He also does have Lightning Dragon Slayer mode, and his strongest mode is Fire Dragon King mode, with Dragon Force being a conditional thing that doesn't really have a set timer. Sometimes he runs out of Dragon Force in the middle of the fight, and sometimes he doesn't. He also can burn magic if his fire is hot enough, which is power nullification. With all that said, who is the first to be taken out in this fight? And to be honest with all of you, the one who goes out first would have to be Yamamoto. And the reason why I say it's Yamamoto is because I'm joking. I'm kidding. Of course it's not Yamamoto. Obviously it's not Yamamoto. But anyways, jokes aside, it's obviously Natsu, who is the first to go. Although Natsu is the most versatile out of the three when it comes to fire manipulation, but his speed is the problem. Although his AP is on par with Escanor and Yamamoto, his speed isn't though. And both Yamamoto and Escanor can attack Natsu's soul, which we see Natsu get no-diffed by someone who attacks the soul, and we see Natsu can't do shit to spiritual beings. Natsu had to use thought projection magic on his own soul in order to fight a soul, but he forgot how to do that due to his low IQ, and Natsu won't be getting taught how to use that, since in a neutral verse, Beta Heaven won't even exist, and Escanor and Yamamoto would have already run a train on Natsu's soul before Igneel, which is me by the way, can teach Natsu the magic again. It's also worth mentioning that Natsu can't eat either side's fire, since both of them technically don't use fire. Although Yamamoto's spiritual pressure may appear like it's fire, but it's not really fire. And even if we say it is, if Natsu tries to eat it, he would just die because those flames attacks the soul itself. And as for Escanor's fire, that's just nuclear fusion, which has cosmic radiation, something Natsu has never dealt with, let alone eaten. So the cosmic radiation would also affect Natsu's soul and physical body. So at the start of the fight, Natsu's soul would just be getting mashed up internally and externally. As for Escanor versus Yamamoto, I already made a video on why Escanor should win due to him getting stronger and stronger as high noon draws near, and a weaker version of Escanor being relative to a hypothetical full power Yamamoto. I would have to give it to Escanor by stats advantage and hacks, since Yamamoto, from what we know, hasn't dealt with cosmic radiation and nuclear fusion, plus the heat difference Escanor can withstand and produce. He would burn Yamamoto like how he did to the Vampire King. Absolute violation. I also went into their more high-end scaling in my Yamamoto versus Escanor fight, because I think their high-end scaling is their most accurate scaling in my opinion. But anyways, that's it for this video, and you are more than welcome to liven up my Discord server that I've recently made. It's still new, so it's dry right now, but y'all can change that if you want to help out. But anyway, until next time, peace.